Hey, Jimmy, bring him in because I'm thrilled to actually see our friend comedian Brian Regan back with the Stephen D.C. radio show. I was there he is. Terribly concerned. I saw on that Fox News ticker about 2 months ago, Brian Regan sentenced to life in prison.
Yes, same guy.
And I thought, my God, what has he done?
He got a furlough to come do the Stephen D.C. show.
Yeah, I get out, to do the comedy thing on the weekends.
Sure.
I got a great lawyer.
And they said Brian Regan is heavily involved in selling secrets to Iraq. And I thought, this cannot be the guy. And then it hit me. He brings that tape recorder
Every
everywhere.
time. Yeah,
secrets.
Yeah, I've been telling him stuff about you guys and all kinds of stuff.
We're screwed.
How awful is it, though, to have a convicted spy, Brian Regan? You've got his... that's got to be
It
weird.
was very weird. In fact, when the trial started, I didn't even know who this guy was. I never even heard of the guy. Sometimes you have the news on in the background. The TV's on, and... you're half paying attention. I'm sitting there doing a crossword puzzle, and I hear, it's unclear whether the charges against Brian Regan will lead to his execution. Guess I can set this puzzle down. Focus in on this news blurb. Honey, did we pay that parking ticket? Remember, we were parked over by about a foot, and we weren't sure if that was going to be okay. Well, as it turns out... Isn't that weird?
That is weird. That's to be weird.
There's also... it's confusing in other ways, too, because there's a Brian Regan who is a screenwriter. He wrote the movie 102 Dalmatians. It's not me, but a lot of people just assume that it's me because he's in the same industry.
Right.
And when I heard about this guy, I didn't, I'm sure he's a good writer and all that. And I was in some city. They said they wanted to do a local TV interview. They said, do you mind if we do it out in front of the movie theater? And I'm like, oh, no. Yeah, sure. That's as good a place as any, right?
Why not? Sure.
Why do you want to do it there? Well, we want to have the 102 Dalmatians logo behind us during the interview. Okay. Does that look good on camera or something? Okay. Let's do it. I'm game.
It's the black and white contrast.
Sure. Brian, why don't you tell us about the movie 102 Dalmatians?
Okay.
Why don't you tell our listening viewers all about the motion picture 102 Dalmatians? Well, I'm sure it's a great movie. I bet it's a lot of fun for everyone. Hey, do you know I'm playing over at the Chuckle Hut? Yeah. I'm playing over at the Chuckle Hut Comedy House. Anyone wants to come out and chuckle? And there's another Brian Regan who is a goalie for some semi-pro hockey team called the River Otters.
Well, that's right here.
Are they here?
Yeah.
I thought it was up in Wisconsin or something like that.
Well, now
I think we traded for him.
We've got.
Is he here?
We've got a.
Wow,
Jimmy,
that'd
is
be
he
cool.
He's here. Yeah, Brian Regan, goalie for the Missouri River Otters in St. Charles, Missouri.
Let's give him
look at
some
that.
tickets to the show. That's the least we
That's
can do.
great. That'd be weird if he's out there listening. There's a spy, there's a comic, there's a screenwriter, and a goalie. But it's weird, if you do a Brian Regan search, in the computer, it'll say, Brian Regan, starting at goalie for the River Otters, Brian Regan playing at the St. Louis Funny Bone, Brian Regan, new motion picture coming out, Brian Regan perhaps to be executed.
You had it all up.
Yeah. This is one wild career this guy's got going.
What did he do wrong?
This guy's all over the map.
Brian, your take on the war. We've been consumed with conversation about it since this thing started. It's all everybody's talking
It's
about.
very simple. They just ought to turn the whole place into a parking lot. I love when people just oversimplify things like that. You got your crazy uncle. You know what they ought to do? They ought to just turn the whole place into a parking lot.
Uncle George, he was here.
Turn it into a parking lot.
That's right.
I mean, have you really thought the foreign policy through? Would you park there? I mean, how come you're late? I parked over in the Iraqi parking lot. It's beautiful. They just built this. It's a wonderful lot. It's not necessarily convenient. You park, and you got to get on a little tram, and you got to get on a ferry. Imagine if they did every single war, Afghanistan. Turn it into a parking lot. That's what they ought to do.
We've taken that call. In fact, I think some people in this room have said that.
We've said that at some point.
You listening, Hillary? You listening, are you?
I'm not taking a viewpoint one way or the other. I just.
Are you neutral on this issue, Brian? Are you neutral?
I have my opinions, but I don't really espouse them. Is that a word?
You're no Martin Sheen.
That's the. I'm not. There's a Martin Sheen spy.
You're no Dixie chick, Regan.
Martin Sheen is he's playing for the Missouri River Otters. But I do realize that there are people affected by this that sometimes you don't realize.
Yeah.
Like, who I feel bad for?
Who?
Arab Americans who truly want to get into crop dusting.
I thought about it.
Yeah. A difficult career
Very difficult. It's their lifelong dream. And now every time they ask for a pamphlet, all hell breaks loose.
They're arrested. They're questioned.
Yeah. I'd like some information on crop dusting, and let me guess, you need to make a phone call. You can't just hand me a brochure. I got to go in this room and talk with these people with sunglasses. I can't get my pamphlet and get out of here. I gotta talk to people. I wonder if they have pamphlets, crop dusting pamphlets. Sure they do. Where would you go to get one? I gotta go get a crop dusting pamphlet. I'll be right back.
What would be in that pamphlet exactly?
Yeah, right. There'd be a picture of the plane on the front and crop dusting, a terrific career move. I'm sure it is.
Welcome to the world of crop dusting.
That's right. I'm sure it'd be fun.
When I look at a guy like you, Brian, there's one question that really comes to mind, and that is, what do you do in your spare time?
When you're not spying or playing hockey or making movies.
I'm pretty busy with all that stuff. But, I'm trying to get into inventing.
Really?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah. But that's hard. It really is. It's very difficult. First of all, you got to think of stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I just set up all my beakers. And I'm putting the different food coloring in the different beakers because you got to have some blues and some reds and some greens.
Yeah.
You can't have them all the same color. And people are like, "What are you inventing?" And I'm like, "Well, right now I'm just trying to get everything bubbling." Let's do first things first here. Let's get everything bubbling. I know what I'm going to try to invent. Well, it's like, I don't know if I'll be able to accomplish it. You always got to put the disclaimer in there because it might be one of these things that's impossible. But I'm trying to invent an ironing board that when you open it, it doesn't sound like this. Every single ironing board I've ever opened sounds like a witch being boiled in oil.
That's right. It's Kelly. It's Kelly. It's Kelly.
Can you imagine getting the ironing board thing approved in today's safety-conscious world?
No.
So what did you want to get the approval on? I call it an iron and an ironing board. I want to have like a surfboard-shaped device about this high, and I want to support it with two thin crisscrossing poles so the center of gravity is precariously high, so the slightest nudge you'd be sure to topple it. Then I want to put a big hot metal thing on the top of that with water at the temperature of lava oozing out the sides and dripping off the board for burn wounds. I want one side to be a white hot heat for scarring. I want the sheer weight to be able to cause blunt force trauma. And I want the whole thing to come to a point for puncture wounds. It seems a little unsafe for adults. I'm not finished. I want a cord coming down so you can get the toddlers involved. It's every home has one of these instant tragedy sets.
Instant tragedy.
Get the instant tragedy set out of the closet.
How true, how true.
I understand Brian Regan had some trouble with the rain. Is it raining out there?
Yes, it's raining in the St. Louis area.
Yeah, the rain gets Brian down.
If by out there you mean the St. Louis area,
it's raining. mean out there somewhere.
That's what
I'm sure it's raining somewhere.
Out there somewhere.
Don't you think?
Somewhere
That's
USA.
what the weatherman said this morning. It's going to be raining out there. If you're out there, it's going to be raining. I wonder how long you get away with just being an incredibly vague weatherman. We've got some weather coming in. Now to you with sports. How come you never get specific? There's definitely a weather pattern moving into the area. We're going to have some scattered things. So just watch it out there.
Oh.
I love this.
I don't want to be held accountable. You know?
It's going to be partly sunny today with a slight chance of rain.
Yeah. Just cover your bases.
Out
Slight
there.
chance. You know, when it is raining, I love watching people run in the rain.
Right.
When they come from getting out of their cars, running into buildings. Why do people scrunch their shoulders up to their ears? I don't get that. Hey, you need an umbrella? No, I have this technique working for me. Notice how the water just splits over the top of my torso. I don't mind my whole back getting drenched as long as this little neck section stays nice and arid. Or the people that put a piece of paper over their head. Oh, it's coming down. It's all sogged over uselessly. It's coming down. I want to run next to him holding a pencil over my head. I don't want to mess up my part. Yeah, you get it looking good. Spend time on it. You don't want to mess it all up.
Out there.
Yeah, out there. Be careful out there.
Steve and Dan as my witnesses.
Yes.
We were talking about Brian the other day.
We talk about Brian a lot.
Because there was...
That's nice. We do.
We heard some newscaster doing an entertainment update, and that girl from American Idol was voted off, Vanessa Olivares.
Right.
And we were laughing because,
Is this that part of the show where we lead Brian into a really old bit that he may not remember? Every time he
I
comes here,
think I know where we're going.
Good.
Well, it was funny because it's so true. Brian points these things out, and then we notice them later, and they're very true. This newscaster never, ever speaks with an accent for any reason, but when she got to the name of the person voted off American Idol, it was Vanessa Olivares.
Olivares.
You had to throw that in there.
But you can do that with Spanish whenever you want. That's what's interesting about it. You can have a Spanish accent at any time. It's like, well, apparently this just in, some fighting has broken out down in Nicaragua. All of a sudden, he's Julio Iglesias. We'll be sending a reporter down to Managua, Nicaragua. There's a development in the Nicaragua area.
Now, Brian, Margie Ellisor here is with Fox Television News, and
Hello.
she anchors the news and reports,
Yeah.
so she totally relates to what you're saying.
I do, but I don't do that.
You don't do that.
No, there was a reporter who would read everything, a soldier is missing in action. Bonita Flores,
But Brian makes a good point. You can only do that for some reason.
Well,
with certain names.
You can, if you want, you can have a Spanish accent whenever you want, even if you're from the Midwest, But you could never get away with that with the Asian stories, Well, the U.S. diplomat is being sent to Beijing. That might affect the situation in Hong Kong. Hey, honey, come watch this guy. He's about to lose his job. You're never going to see this guy again.
How true.
And why do they have to do the transitions between the stories? How come they don't think you can handle a brand new story? It's like, hey, that's a big lotto jackpot. Speaking of lotto, there was a lotto crime in the city today. Oh, I'm right with you. I'm right on your tail. Thanks for smoothing that out. I'd have been lost. I love the commercials for the local news. They have different selling points. One thing you'll hear a lot, a news anchor you can trust. Right. I don't get, what is there not to trust? What is he going to lie to you? There's a big fire downtown. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if I trust this guy. There's something about him. There's just something not right about him. And another one here. A news team that cares.
Yeah.
Wow. Wouldn't you kind of assume that? What, they don't care on the other channel? You click over there, major highway is going to be closed down today, but, hey, I don't drive home that way. Oh, turn it back to the team that cares. These two are surly. I've had it with their uncaring ways. Susie, what's the next story? Is it going to affect me personally, or can I go grab a candy bar?
Margie, I think y'all found a new consultant for Brian Regan.
Yes, I would love to have him as our consultant.
Address the newsroom over at Fox. Now, ladies and gentlemen,
how come the sports guy is
the sports guy?
The weather person is the only person that has to do the forecast. You know, why do they have that pressure on their shoulders? What's the weather going to be like tomorrow, Charlie? I don't know. What are tomorrow's sports scores? and if you're wrong, I'll ride you. I'll ride you relentlessly, and I'll never let it go.
I know that some people are cheering right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's true. Oh, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can see Brian Regan if you are lucky enough to be in the St. Louis area tonight at the Funny Bone Westport. He's appearing tonight for reservations at the St. Louis Funny Bone Westport, 314-469-6692. It will fill quickly, so hurry and make the call. You don't want to miss Brian Regan tonight, 314-469-6692, and all over the country, wherever you're listening.
Did you know still on Brian's resume is the fact that he won $10,000 as the funniest person in New York in 1988?
That's my big credit.
Still hanging on to that.
That's what I get introduced to, you know, when I'm at the clubs. I should probably at least update the amount. Just lie. Say it's 50,000 or something.
Just for inflation, man, yeah.
Might as well.
And BrianRegan.com. REGAN. BRIAN. REGAN. BrianRegan.com. Before you have to go, Brian, I know baseball season is upon us. You were a Little League ball player, weren't you?
Yes. Thanks for having me, guys.
Coming in.
The weirdest way to end it. Yeah, I played Little League.
Can you tell us?
I played out in right field. I played in right field because I stunk. But you don't know that. You're just a little kid. Right. You just show up. You any good? I don't know. My mom told me to come out here. We'll get out in right field. Okay. You're out there facing the wrong way. Turn around. Oh. Should I turn around the whole way or only part of the whole way? Should I the whole way or part of the whole way only? Our coach would yell from the dugout, "Hey, guys, let's hear some chatter out there. Let's hear some chatter." What are we, rabbits? That would intimidate the batter. 9 guys doing that. I couldn't concentrate, Coach. They were chattering like little rabbits.
God almighty.
If you don't know what chattering is, it's saying "Hey, batter, batter" over and over. I don't think I ever felt like more of an idiot my whole life. Out in the field going, "Hey, batter, batter. Hey, batter. Hey, batter. Hey, batter. Hey, batter. Hey, batter. Hey, Coach, is there a point at us? Is that for the batter's benefit? Hey, batter, batter. Hey, fielder, fielder. Hey, batter, batter. Hey, fielder. Hey, they're communicating. Why do you learn that? You're supposed to apply that later in life. Hey, lawyer, lawyer, sue. Lawyer, 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 sue. Sue, lawyer. Bus driver, shift, bus driver. What's the matter with it? I learned that as a kid. I'm applying it later in life. I'm applying it. I'm applying what I learned.
Brian Regan.
Brian Regan.
Thank you all very much.
We love you, man. God bless.